How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about the prydwen tier list. As always, in every version update, of course, with Firefly's release, we're going to get a little bit of changes. And I think this time in prydwen's tier list, we actually have a lot this time around, which I'm very excited for it to look at. And there's a lot of suggestions I did say on my own stream, which I am streaming, trying to be consistent on twitch.tv/REHOO, so make sure to come by on that. And also make sure to leave a like, comment, sub, all the different type of stuff, and let me know if you want the 50-50 or not on Firefly, because she took a minute to get to where I wanted it to be, but we'll talk about that later on. Let's go ahead and get into the tier list with, of course, a lot of different changes and a lot of different things I already like to see. I had a lot of suggestions the last time, and we also didn't get to cover Boothill, so I'll also be talking about him as well. So going into the first thing, Boothill, which I didn't give the chance to look at this tier list when he came out. Boothill looks like he's in the right spot. 0.5 is a very nice spot for him. Break characters essentially right now are really strong when it comes to having their best team, and the fact that Boothill is able to one-shot, two-shot bosses is a very big feat for him and a very good thing at minimal investment. He doesn't really need that much to be overall broken. And then same thing goes for Firefly, but we're talking about Boothill right now. He does have some faults to his own. He has portions of his kit that needs to be, I guess you could say, filled in when it comes to other characters being on the team. He really needs an advanced force so he's able to ramp himself up to be able to get the most amount of break damage that he possibly can get. And then not only that, not having innate super break as well hurts him quite a bit when it comes to not being able to additionally scale with Harmony MC. And currently he's bugged. I'm not going to count that against him, but currently he's bugged for some reason when it comes to his super break. But he doesn't have innate super break. He doesn't have any way to ramp himself up faster. So it is a little bit harder for Boothill to be in that tier 0 spot, but he's overall a super strong character. And specifically talking about the break meta itself, overall a really strong team comp at the current moment, and will be for a very long time just because of how brute force-ish it is. I don't know if I said that right, but how brute force-ish that team is, just because of the implant and how it works with breaking the enemy, having the delays from Ruan Mei and HMC, making super break almost constant, making so Boothill can do his damage and then Firefly can do her damage. Overall, really good things with them. The only reason he's not tier 0 is because he does have holes that do need to be filled with other teammates. But we'll wait and see if he ever gets a higher degree of being in tier 0. Most likely not, because he still has those holes innately, while someone like Firefly has none of them. Firefly is overall a almost complete kit, or pretty much a complete kit when it comes to her own meta. When it comes to the break effect meta, not only does she have weakness efficiency in her own kit, she has the implant on almost everything, with her technique being absolutely busted, having it to where you're giving everyone fire implant, and also within your ultimate, which you get it under 2 turns, you can also implant every skill, which is a very strong thing to have in comparison to Boothill, who only gets it after every ultimate. So it is a very big deal and a very big thing for Firefly. Not only that, she innately has super break and has ways to sustain herself as well. Really crazy things for Firefly. She doesn't need as many characters to fill in holes for her. Rather, she has characters that will just boost up what she can already do. So she doesn't technically need HMC, although it would be really wanted. And she doesn't, well, I'm not gonna lie, Ruan Mei is kind of needed on both these teams, because Ruan Mei is Ruan Mei, which we're definitely gonna talk about that in a quick minute. But if I had to give a tier 0 character 100%, it would have been Firefly, just because she is everything that the break effect meta would have wanted when it comes to having all the kit that she needs: implant, efficiency, being able to have super break innately, AoE, which is a very big thing, because especially with Boothill, although you're one-shotting stuff, you still have to deal with each enemy one at a time. While Firefly, she gets to hit enemies that don't even have the fire weakness on them, and she gets to do like half of their toughness on the sides of the main enemy you're fighting, which they're getting implanted fire on. So since she can break already, with Firefly being able to do absolutely massive damage to not only the character you're currently getting at, but also the characters on the side, she has a lot more, I guess, availability to be able to take down enemies faster, which is a really good thing for her. And she's just overall a very strong unit. Now, I do see her potentially getting a little stronger in the future. Same thing with Boothill when we get the 5-star version of Gallagher, the 5-star version of having HMC, because I'm pretty sure we'll eventually have those. We don't know when, and we don't know how long it'll take to get that, but as of time standing right now, they're in really good spots for where they're at right now. I would 100% keep them where they're at, and I'm pretty sure we will get buffs to the break effect meta eventually, with having a 5-star Gallagher and a 5-star HMC. I 100% see it in the future. Going on to the next thing, which I've said this multiple times before, and I don't care how people look at it, I don't care how people want to see it, Ruan Mei has always been Ruan Mei. She's always been the #1 support no matter what. And at a time, I honestly agreed that Robin, Sparkle, Ruan Mei could be in the same tier. But now, when I was playing with Ruan Mei, with Boothill, and now with Firefly, and realizing how universal she truly is versus someone like Sparkle and someone like Robin, there was no way I was going to keep Ruan Mei on the same tier as those characters. So to see Ruan Mei finally have her spot in tier 0 where she belonged all along, I am so happy to see that we recognize the power that she has, the universal ability that she has when it comes to all the stats that she's given, and also all the benefits that she gives to the teams that she's on, which is practically every single freaking team that she could benefit from, something that Robin and Sparkle cannot have. And then going on to the next character, we're looking at HMC, which we all know HMC is overall super busted. It's really cool to see the main character being high on the tier list and being used by a lot of different people, especially because Super Break has just taken over the meta right now. Super Break has some of the highest damage right now when it comes to not only Boothill, but also Firefly. And not even that, there's even characters like Jing Yuan and Himiko that are also reaping the benefits as well. Although not being Break characters, their Super Break's absolutely nuts when built a certain way. So there's currently having a bunch of characters that are not even Break oriented, and even having the characters that are Break oriented benefit from HMC, which is a very, very good thing for us, and it's a very exciting thing as well. I'm just super happy to see where we're at in the current meta, and I think overall this tier list is getting better and better as time goes by, with us recognizing the power of some of these units, and it's just overall really good what we're looking at. Another thing that I 100% agree with is Fu Xuan moving down the tier at the moment. Right now, Aventurine just seems to be the god tier sustain. I quite literally said it point blank. If you die with Aventurine on your team, you're not that good at the game. It's almost impossible to die with them, especially if you just hard stack defense. If you don't care about his damage, hard stack defense, he's making a shield that's impenetrable. You're never dying. He's gonna allow to have the follow-up attack after a certain amount of attacks. That's gonna allow you to keep your shield up no matter what. He has 50% effect threats as well added on top, so he has that extra benefit and also giving that crit damage buff as well, which overall really good for a lot of different teams. So Aventurine, he's the only character where it's pretty much impossible to die with as long as you have that last traits unlocked. And Fu Xuan going down a tier, I saw it coming. The only reason I saw it coming is because of the raised power that we're seeing a lot of these MOC units, a lot of these brand new units when it comes to MOC and all the bosses that we're looking at. All of them have some crazy AoE. And I mean, like, Argenti's going insane, the Eternal Show is going insane, the new Sunday boss is going insane. They're showing signs of Fu Xuan not being able to take all that AoE damage at once, because when you're getting hit for like 3k each unit with how hard these units are hitting now all that gets converted to Fu Xuan, and now she has to take all of that at once plus the damage that she was already taking, and now she's getting KO'd, and now she's losing her job as sustain, and now the godlike feature or the godlike invulnerability that you had using Fu Xuan is dwindling away, because now we're seeing her become immortal again with her dying a bunch, compared to a lot of these units when it goes to Agenti, when it comes to the Eternal Show, the brand new Sunday boss, and maybe even more MOCs coming in the future, possibly even Apocalyptic Shadow. I haven't tried her out in there, but there's just been so many reports of her actually losing and actually not being able to sustain enough when it comes to all these current bosses, all these current MOC sides, doing so much AoE that she can't take it anymore. So that's a really bad thing to look at. Is she still a good character? 100%. She's still an amazing character. She can still get the job done when it comes to allowing you to sustain a lot of the stuff in this game. As time goes by, will we see a decline in her power? It's possible, but she still has so much in her kit that she's still an amazing unit when it comes to the crit rate that she's able to give, the HP bonus, all the different type of stuff, the CC prevention. She's still an overall good unit. She's just not a god tier unit as in comparison to Aventurine, because the shields in this game are just broken. They're just absolutely nasty. They prevent the damage from happening in the first place, which stops one shots, and that's the end of that. Fu Xuan, you still take the damage, and Fu Xuan has to take the bulk of it, which with how much is happening right now, she's having a tough time dealing with all that damage coming straight to her way. And of course, seeing that Gallagher, our boy, is in tier 0.5, which honestly, we all saw this coming. He is by far one of the biggest buff units, not only from Ruan Mei herself and also HMC, but especially looking at Firefly coming into the mix and Boothill Boothill being able to benefit from Gallagher's ultimate with the extra break damage, and then Firefly making it even more nasty with her technique implanting everyone with fire, and Gallagher with his ultimate hitting the whole wave and also having that advanced forward to normal. Makes for a lot of toughness reduction on that enemy shield. And of course, looking at E6 Gallagher, which we have right now, this means that you have the cleanse and also have that extra break effect with also having that extra toughness reduction on your E6, which makes him absolutely broken. That's a lot of toughness you're taking away with Gallagher himself. So looking at Gallagher, he's been basically the better version of Luocha right now. He has his ultimate to where he can inflict the whole wave, and no matter what, when your allies are hitting those targets, you're going to be getting the healing back. And not only that, when he events forwards himself to the top of the list, not only are you getting the free skill point, I think you get the free skill point, I'm not 100% sure on that one for sure, but you do get to heal the whole team for a good chunk. Especially if you built your Gallagher well, you're going to be able to heal it for a really good amount. You're going to be able to have them get their own standby healing by hitting the enemies you use with his ultimate. And then also looking at all the toughness damage he can do now with Firefly on the team. He has just been overall one of the biggest buff characters and provides so much for the break effect team, provides so much in standby healing for a lot of other teams. It's just good to see that he's going to be used for a long time until his 5-star counterpart comes out. It sucks that our boy Luocha is still down there, but with what he gives versus what Gallagher can do for the break team, what Gallagher can do for other teams, and same thing with Fu Xuan. Although she is currently losing to some of the enemies in MOC, she's still a really good character in what she provides. They all up above the 0.5 and tier 0 marker are all doing really good with the buffs that they have. I don't know about the usage rate on some of these characters like Fu Xuan versus Ho. We're gonna have to wait and see for that in the future, but I overall enjoy this tier list quite a bit when it comes to the brand new rankings. And also, I forgot to look at Himiko actually got boosted up for what I see right here, which is actually pretty good, especially with what the Eternal Show has right now when it comes to having 3 elites that all share a health bar but all have separate toughness bars. Is actually really good for Himiko. This allows her to be able to get 3 follow-ups every time you break an enemy, and all those follow-ups are afflicting everyone's HP, which is all shared, which is a really good thing for her. So she got a nice little buff when it came to the Eternal Show coming into MOC. But overall, the placements of Boothill, the placement of Firefly, the placement of Ruan Mei, HMC, Fu Xuan, and Gallagher, I all agree with, especially with all the changes that have been made into the meta when it comes to break meta, when it comes to everything else coming into the game, the break meta, all the additional buffs from the MOC, how they're faring against the brand new MOC. Overall, really good things. I'm very happy to see how they're looking at it right now. This is really nice. I think my favorite change so far is HMC going into the amplifier and being a tier 0.5. I think a lot of people understand his value now, and it's really cool to see that he is where he's at right now. And then Gallagher also being a huge buff compared to where he was before, where he wasn't used as much, and now with Boothill, with Firefly, he's become a monster. So it's really cool to see all this. But other than that, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching all this to the end. Let me know what you think in regards to Firefly, where she should be placed, Ruan Mei, all these other characters that were moved around. Really cool to look at the meta change. I really enjoy doing this just because it's nice to see the times of which change for these characters, where we used to see characters like Dan Heng and Jing Liu be in tier 0 or before, which would be S+ if I'm not wrong, and seeing all these characters move down, all these characters move up, depending on what's happening in the meta, depending on what's happening in MOC. It's all really cool. I really like seeing the times change when it comes to all these characters, and to see that some of our characters that we've known for a very long time, like Kafka, Black Swan, and Fu Xuan and Ho are still kicking. Same thing with Dan Heng and Jing Liu. It's really nice to see. Well, then, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the video. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.